This week, we got a next-gen MMO that messes with time, a mysterious pirate game appearing on the horizon, Anno teaching us that your happiness may very well depend on strategic lavender placement, and Diablo 4 is starting to remember what made it fun in the first place. 4 years after its initial trailer sparked a wave of hype, upcoming MMORPG Chrono Odyssey has finally revealed actual gameplay. And not to overhype it, but if the devs manage to pull off everything they've shown, especially at that scale, this could easily become the best MMORPG we have ever played. What stands out most is the freedom of choice. Whether you're a casual player with limited time or someone who dives deep into every system, Chrono Odyssey is designed to give you a fulfilling experience. That is, if you like the darker art style and aren't immediately turned away by the fact that it's published by Kakao Games. But here's the good news. You might get a chance to try it out for yourself. We will explain how in a bit. First, let's dive into why we are so excited. In the latest developer deep dive, we got a closer look at Cetera, the game's world. A place where humans, gods, and mysterious beings known as the Void are in constant conflict. Visually, it blends high fantasy with cosmic horror, pulling inspiration from things like Prometheus and Zerg from StarCraft. A huge part of the gameplay revolves around time and space. You will be able to shift between different timelines, past and future, to uncover secrets, solve puzzles, or change how certain areas work. This kind of timeline manipulation isn't just a gimmick, it's central to both exploration and world building. Exploration, by the way, is a major focus. There's minimal hand-holding, and you are encouraged to go at your own pace. While there is a main storyline, it's woven into the environment rather than spelled out. You will find fragments of lore and story pieces scattered throughout the world, letting you piece everything together as you go. On top of that, there's a wide range of player-driven content, split into solo and group-based activities. If you're going solo, you can take on Chrono Gates, which are essentially intense one-on-one duels with void bosses, or explore labyrinths that feature platforming and puzzle elements. For group content, there are dungeons and field bosses, all tuned for parties. One thing we love is every activity in the game grants experience. That means you're not locked into combat grinding to level up. You can absolutely reach max level just by crafting, gathering, or doing other non-combat things. The game's economy reflects that too. It's designed so that roles rely on each other. It's not just about what class you pick, but how you want to grow your character and contribute to the world. And speaking of the world, Cetera isn't static. Zones don't unlock in a fixed order. Instead, the map evolves based on what players do. Your actions affect what areas open up, how the story progresses, and what content becomes available. It's a refreshing change from traditional MMO design. No more dragging yourself from one level zone or even one expansion to the next. The devs have clearly built everything around small group play. You will start solo or in a duo to level up, and most party content is designed for 5 players max. There are no rigid tank healer DPS roles. Classes are hybrid by design. Whether you're playing a ranger or an assassin, you will have a mix of skills that let you adapt. Even support-focused builds are designed to be viable for solo play, so you're never forced to rely on a group. Combat features a weapon swap system with real-time skill combos and cooldowns. You can carry 2 weapons and switch between them on the fly, giving you flexibility in how you approach each fight. Now, for those wondering about PvP, there won't be large-scale sieges or territory wars. Instead, player interactions seem to change depending on the situation. While they haven't gone into full detail, we suspect a flagging system, possibly similar to Black Desert Online, but with a bit more consent. There is even a flag icon in the UI, which kind of gives that away. If all of this sounds as good to you as it does to us, here's how you might be able to try Chrono Odyssey for yourself, hypothetically. Right now, they are recruiting for a closed beta on Steam. You can sign up, and if you're lucky, you will be selected to test it out. So that's Chrono Odyssey, a time-bending MMO that's trying to break the tradition of linear gameplay. Whether it all comes together in the final release, we will have to wait and see. But it's definitely one to watch out for if you're into small-scale MMOs that actually try something new. Get ready to step into the sandals of a Roman governor, because Anno 117 Pax Romana is finally giving us a deeper look at how it plays. Until now, only a select few got hands-on time during the closed playtest. But with the new trailers, the rest of us can finally see what Anno 117 is all about, and how it's building on and changing the Anno formula. The setting is the year 117 AD. You play as a newly appointed Roman governor, starting from scratch on the sunlit island of Latium. You will build roads, gather resources, open markets, place taverns. All the familiar Anno city building basics are here. But comparing it with Anno 1800, there are quite a few changes. City building is more flexible and more personal. You can now design your city using either organic or grid-based layouts. You are encouraged to find a balance between aesthetics and productivity, while also handling essentials like fire safety, public health, and the overall happiness of your residents. A major new feature is the influence of Roman deities. Each island can fall under the protection of one specific god. For example, building shrines to Neptune speeds up your ships and increases fish production. This system adds a strategic layer to how you expand and optimize your city. Unlike previous Anno games, you are no longer just a distant overseer. You are now a customizable Roman governor with his own expandable mansion. This shift gives you more direct control over diplomacy, religious decisions, and how your reputation develops. It adds a role-playing element that changes how you interact with the world and its systems. The needs system is also being updated. While you're still supplying your citizens with goods and services, these needs now directly affect attributes like income, population growth, health, fire safety, and happiness. These stats influence building performance, unlock bonuses, and introduce potential risks if neglected. Production buildings now have area of effect buffs and debuffs. For instance, placing lavender fields near settlements boosts happiness, while placing pig farms too close can lower your citizens' health. This encourages more thoughtful city planning and creates more meaningful trade-offs. There's also a noticeable shift back toward military gameplay, especially with the comeback of land combat. Naval warfare also appears to be more impactful, with the addition of a modular shipbuilding system. Ships can be customized with features like archers, catapults, and reinforced hulls, giving more control over your fleet's design and purpose. Anno 117 Pax Romana is scheduled to release this winter for PC, PS5, and Xbox Series. The Steam store currently lists the game as single player, but Ubisoft has confirmed that multiplayer will be included. The Xbox store already mentions up to 8-player co-op and 16-player multiplayer. We are hoping this means a return of the co-op mode from Anno 1800, where up to 4 players could manage one shared faction. Easily one of the most enjoyable ways to play for us, and we have spent hours upon hours in that mode. This next game, Sea of Remnants, is a newly announced game IP by NetEase. One that completely took over my life the moment I laid eyes on the trailer. And not just because of the art direction or the pirate setting, but because, as of now, we know next to nothing about it. But I really wanted to know more. So I dove headfirst into the deep, dark sea of information and fished up whatever I could find for you. Now, if you're wondering, what did Nox do? He took one glance at the trailer and said, meh, not my style. But you already know whose style it is. Sea of Remnants is being developed by Joker Studio, a small team best known for the asymmetrical 1 vs 4 horror survival game Identity V, where one hunter chases down 3 survivors. Sounds familiar? It should. Behavior Interactive, the folks behind Dead by Daylight, were involved in that one too. Identity V launched back in 2018 and is still going strong with regular updates. Now, while the puppet theme seems to be a recurring motif, Sea of Remnants looks like it's charting a different course. It's being marketed as an original ocean adventure RPG, where you play as a puppet folk sailor who lost their memory. There is talk of treasure, conflict, dreams, and companions, some of whom even come from the Identity V universe. You can already pre-register on their website, which features not just more stunning renders, but also some subtle background lore. So let's put our pirate-shaped thinking hats on and dive into the scraps of info we do have. The Sea of Remnants appears to offer players power, but at a price. A curse that slowly robs you of the very talents you once prided yourself with. That sounds a lot like a roguelike mechanic or something similar that resets your progress. The website animations flash the symbol for infinity. If that sounds familiar, it might remind you of pirate pop culture staples like Pirates of the Caribbean or Legends of the Flying Dutchman. Doomed to sail forever, its cursed crew stuck in a timeless loop. In the video, the theme of a butterfly recurs, which, if you're into symbolism in art and literature, is often used for transformation, rebirth, and hope. But of course, that's just our speculation. There are also signs this might be a multiplayer title, like the phrase "allies of every kind," Joker Studios' multiplayer experience, and some ongoing discussions on their social media. I have also seen rumors about it being turn-based, and some seem convinced they found proof for it having social features. But as we weren't able to confirm these ourselves, it is what it is for now, just rumors. But pretty ones at that. And a fan of cute characters and pirates can still dream. But tell us, are you Team Lumi or Team Nox? Doll pirates, yay or nay? After charging over $150 for a handful of premium skins, Blizzard seems to have remembered that Diablo 4 is, in fact, a game. And games typically come with gameplay updates too. In the latest Campfire chat, the devs acknowledged some of the core issues currently dragging the game down. A lack of endgame variety, a stale meta, and a general sense of fatigue around boss fights. The good news? They are planning some real changes in Season 9. One of the standout features is the new Herodric spell system, a customizable magic mechanic that lets players craft their own spells by combining catalysts, infusions, and arcana. Catalysts determine how the spell behaves, including its cooldowns and utility effects. Infusions set the elemental type and introduce unique mechanics, while arcana fine-tunes the overall performance and interactions. In one example, they showed a combo where using Smoke Bomb pulls enemies inward and triggers a meteor shower, a fun twist on what's normally just a utility skill. We are hoping this system not only offers viable alternatives to standard skills, but also sees continued development in future updates. If implemented well, this could help transform Diablo 4's currently stiff playstyle into something more fun and experimental. Nightmare dungeons are also getting a significant overhaul. The goal here is to make them less punishing, more engaging, and most importantly, more rewarding. With new affixes and 2 new gameplay mechanics that aim to deliver exactly that. Equipment Delve, which gradually increases the quality of your final loot as you progress, and Herodric Strong Rooms. Mini dungeons featuring a score-based system, similar to the Gauntlet with a boss at the end. There's also a new dungeon format on the way, Escalating Nightmares. These are 3-stage dungeon chains that ramp up in difficulty and conclude with a fixed boss fight against Astaroth Reignited. It seems like a more compact take on Diablo 3's Rifts, so we are curious to see whether it delivers the same level of replayability, or just ends up as another endgame activity filed under "been there, done that." During its 2-hour runtime, the Campfire chat also addressed a broad spectrum of class and balance updates. In summary, every build should soon be viable for clearing all content, and the overpower stat is being nerfed to help shake up the long-standing meta. It seems Blizzard is finally taking notes from Diablo 4's predecessors, steering the game toward a more engaging experience and away from stale gameplay and static metas. And honestly, we're looking forward to seeing where this goes. Randy Pitchford, Gearbox's Magician CEO, has once again emerged from whatever alternate reality he calls home, probably from deep under a rock. This time, he's here to remind us that real fans of Borderlands 4 should be ready to drop $80, because loyalty apparently now comes with a luxury tax. After getting thoroughly roasted online, including a call-out from Baldur's Gate 3 publishing director Michael Dowse, who called his stand gross, and fans who fed his tweet to ChatGPT to mock him with an AI version of himself as Handsome Jack, Randy responded exactly how any sane CEO would. "Boy, howdy, JackGPT, is that how I sound?" he tweeted. Because nothing says "we hear you" quite like cowboy theatrics. Followed by a vague apology awkwardly sandwiched between a sales pitch and a humble brag about his dev team. Somewhere in the chaos, he also threw in a comparison of indie FPS pricing to meth. Completely normal stuff. At this point, it's tough to say if Pitchford actually is running Gearbox or just auditioning for the role of his own Twitter parody. Either way, he's definitely busy. Just not with, say, reading the room. Spell Brigade's Update 10 just got released and introduces a major revamp to the revive system, letting fallen players return as ghosts to collect XP until they either get revived or the whole team fails miserably. And on the topic of revival, we got a new ominous wizard, Balthazar, joining the roster, with the lifesteal abilities and the power to revive allies from beyond the grave. For fans of statistics, there is also a brand new stat menu that allows you to track spells, relics, and mission performance in detail. While this update packs meaningful reworks and also quality of life improvements, larger content like new worlds and bosses is still in development. If you are curious about jumping into Dune Awakening when it launches on June 10, but you're still not quite sure what it's all about, don't worry. We've got 3 quick tips to help you out. Firstly, if you're into the lore, there's a whole universe to explore through the Dune books and movies. In short, it's about spice, and no, not the kind sitting in your kitchen cabinet. If you are more focused on the game itself, there is an upcoming live stream on May 28 over on Funcom's YouTube and Twitch channels. They will be diving into mid to end game content that wasn't available during the beta, so it's definitely worth checking out. And for those of you curious about the co-op side of the game, well, we obviously recommend our own video. Wink wink. Another week, another Warhammer 40k game. Or at least that's how it feels. We are well past 30 titles in the franchise at this point. This time we've got a teaser for Dark Heresy, where you step into the role of an Inquisitor, tasked with rooting out, well, heresy, and protecting humanity from extinction in the Calixis sector. As you unravel conspiracies and uncover hidden threats, you will lead a unique warband made up of everything from loyal Imperial troops to suspiciously useful Xenos, each bringing their own gameplay style and perspective to the table. The game is set to feature online co-op, though details on how that actually works are not yet revealed. Given its focus on turn-based combat and the fact that Owlcat Games is behind it, we are expecting something along the lines of Warhammer 40k Rogue Trader, with each player controlling a different warband member through a story-rich campaign. Basically, think Baldur's Gate 3, but in a grim-dark future with bolt guns. Though we will have to wait and see if it lives up to the potential. The latest Traveler's Rest update brings plenty of fresh, pet-friendly content. You can now adopt a loyal dog companion who will follow you around and even help dig up resources and artifacts. The cat affection system has been improved, there's a new artifacts table for crafting decorations, and the save system now includes automatic backups. On top of that, there are new quests, animal-themed items, archaeology finds, and a few new hairstyles. So if you haven't in a while, now is a great time to visit your cozy tavern once again. After Overwatch, it's now Street Fighter's turn to visit the wilds. Similar to the crossover we saw in Monster Hunter Rise about 3 years ago, we are getting a free Akuma-themed Hunter armor set, both full armor and layered, by completing a total of 3 arena quests. These quests unlock once you hit Hunter rank 21 or higher. There are also 2 additional quests that reward you with a Blanca Chan Palico armor set and some Hunter profile assets. That's it for the free content. The rest of the crossover comes as paid DLC. This includes Chun-Li and Cammy outfits for Alma, as well as stickers, pendants and gestures. It's not quite the collab we were hoping for, and personally, I probably won't be using the armor set, but hopefully some of you are excited to Shoryuken into the wilds. Marvel Rivals has revealed a new playable character, Ultron. Though, let's be honest, can we really call it a reveal when we've basically been fighting him since the beginning? Naming conventions aside, Ultron joins the roster as a tactical powerhouse, with a strategy that mostly involves chaos, destruction, and a healthy dose of annihilation. He will be fully playable when Season 2.5 launches on May 30. Fantasy Life I, The Girl Who Steals Time, has officially launched. And with an impressive 88% positive rating on Steam, no less. A heartwarming RPG adventure with life sim elements, a charming art style, and allegedly multiplayer. Keyword: allegedly. Because while the trailers sold us on cozy co-op island building and shared adventures, what we actually got feels less like living your best fantasy life with friends, and more like being a guest in someone else's save file. Multiplayer, if we're being generous enough to call it that, functions more like visitor mode. You can't progress the story together, can't build your island together, and can't even decorate your friend's house with a completely misplaced, oversized blue plush bear. The guest experience boils down to standing around, watching the host have fun, and dropping out when the timer runs out. EXP sharing seems to be the only upside, which probably explains why the forced timer exists in the first place. And forget about shared crafting, fishing, or farming. Those are all sacred solo activities, apparently. There's also no friend list, no party system, and no communication tools. Not even emotes to mime your disappointment. On the single-player front, it seems to deliver a fun and wholesome adventure. But if you were hoping to enjoy the game in co-op, you might want to look elsewhere. Because those aren't the kind of issues that will be patched anytime soon, if ever. On a more positive note, Linked Banner of the Spark has officially left early access. We got to try it during Steam Next Fest and had a great time with its gameplay. It's a charming mix of hack and slash action, roguelite progression, crafting, and town building, all wrapped in a colorful, arcade-inspired style and, surprise, actual co-op at its core. Since its early access launch, the developers have added new story chapters, more difficulties, an entirely new region, fresh enemies, weapons, powers, and even AI companions, for those times when your buddy Greg isn't around to mess up your run. If that sounds like your kind of chaos, it's now available on Steam, Xbox Series, and PlayStation 5. And if you're looking for something new to check out this weekend, the upcoming Portal FPS Splitgate 2 just opened its open beta to everyone. Until the full launch, you can jump in and play for free on PC, PS5 and Xboxes. Right now, there are over 15 official maps, 25 weapons, and a handful of different game modes. Plus, infinite custom maps thanks to community-made content. The gunplay looks super smooth, and the movement system is just as seamless, making it easy to pick up and hard to put down. We tried to dig up a bit more info on their website, but no surprise, the servers seem to be feeling the pressure. Not just in-game, but on the site too, thanks to thousands of players all flooding in at once. But that's it for this week. We wish you lots of fun in co-op with your favorite people, and we will see you again in the next one.